Have you ever wondered what would happen if you put the best teams for each school in one dynasty? Well, today we recreated the 32 best college football teams from the 2000s. Legendary teams like 2005 Texas, 2001 Miami, '08 Florida, Michael Vick's Virginia Tech, and 2015 Ohio State. Legendary players like '05 Vince Young, 2010 Cam, '08 Tebow, 2011 Andrew Luck, and 2011 RG3. We put 32 of the best teams from each school into one dynasty with 32 pro players to compete for $10,000. All right, boys, we have a super exciting video for you guys and a new series on this channel. As you guys can see, the screen that I am on, we did pick Florida. Now, couple of things. We are in 2030 currently, so we were able to change the AI generated recruits and then edit all 32 of these rosters. If you guys want to see all 32 of these rosters, the Discord link is down below and you guys can copy these rosters yourselves, right? You obviously have to advance to 2030 to be able to do it. But if this is something you guys are interested in and want to recreate it, go ahead and check out that link. Now, I'm going to show you guys just, as you guys can see, we are led by Tim Tebow. Obviously, Heisman winning Tim Tebow, 98 overall in this game. Really just crazy stats across the board. Probably our leader. Actually, not even probably. He is our leader. He is the heart and soul of this team.
Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our life. We get the ball. I promise you one thing. We're going to hit somebody, and we're taking it down the field for a touchdown. I guarantee you that.
Now, one thing to quickly mention, too, you guys will probably see the rosters are going to have like a couple of freshmen on them and everything. Any freshmen on these rosters, just kind of ignore them. It's kind of difficult to get like everybody changed perfectly. There was only 3 quarterbacks we could even find on the roster for Florida, so we just kind of had to leave this guy in here. I would say like the accuracy of these rosters are like 90 to 95% when it comes to like the core players and like core depth pieces on each team. Now at halfback, we do have Jeff Demps. One of the fastest players ever at 99 speed just across the board. Truly insane. We also have Chris Rainey too. When it comes to receivers, we have Percy Harvin, Riley Cooper, Lewis Murphy, and then we have Deontay Thompson. One of the things about this Florida team, if you guys have ever heard anything about them, one of the most controversial teams ever.
Called it Gaines Vegas. In Gaines Vegas, we party.
It's just too much temptation.
Another Florida Gator has been arrested.
We're actually about to show probably the most controversial player ever in Aaron Hernandez. On this team, as I said, this team is one of the most notable teams. Now, the biggest thing is that they did have the Pouncey brothers, Mike Pouncey and Marquise Pouncey. So, two, again, very just notable players that went on to have great NFL careers. Now, defensively, Jermaine Cunningham and Carlos Dunlap are going to be our 2 defensive ends. But one quick thing to mention is we were actually allowed to pick one legend from college football across any team. So we're actually going to be adding Jadeveon Clowney to this defensive line. That was my pick personally. South Carolina isn't one of the teams that we changed, so we decided why not have like 32 of the best players just to bring them back into the game. A good example of somebody like this would actually be Lamar Jackson from Louisville. I don't know what team he ended up on, but that was a player that somebody could pick. Right here, we do have Brandon Spikes at middle linebacker, probably the leader of our defense right here. Then our secondary is where it gets kind of crazy. Joe Hayden, Janoris Jenkins, 2 just insane players. Free safety, we did have Major Wright. Probably had one of the biggest hits of all time in that, I think, 2007 National Championship game. I want to say it was 07. I'm like 99% sure. It was either 07 or 08. And then we do also have Ahmad Black at our other safety spot. Now, some of my personal favorite rosters is going to be Florida State. So this is 2013 Florida State that ended up winning the national championship. You have Jalen Ramsey at a 99 overall right here. Obviously, this is the Jameis Winston team. You've got people like Devontae Freeman, Kelvin Benjamin on this roster. I'm trying to think of like the other notable people on this team. You have PJ Williams, Ronald Darby, like honestly like a lot of good players here. LaMarcus Joyner, I actually forgot about him. He's also on this team. Also quickly, if you guys notice duplicate players, basically we actually have to advance here in a second. And once we advance, all these senior players are just going to leave. So if you've seen 2 of a player, that is why. Now, one of my other favorite rosters, we'll show you guys 2 more before we do get into the gameplay here. Ohio State, just again, another insane roster. This was the JT Barrett and Cardell Jones year. They have Ezekiel Elliott, Curtis Samuel. Ignore Ezekiel Elliott's rating. We're going to boost him up to like a 95. Something like glitched out about him. Receiver room, also just kind of insane. We've got Michael Thomas here, Braxton Miller, Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin. Like just a loaded receiver room. We also have Nick Vannett here. I don't know what happened to his rating right there. He's supposed to be a lot higher overall, but we do have Nick Vannett there. Defensively, it's really their secondary. Eli Apple, Garyon Conley, Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, excuse me. Just a bunch of really, really good players. Now, one last roster just to show you guys before we do get into the game right here. And we'll figure out who we play in week 1 of the season too. And one thing to mention, every single game that I play will be on this channel. So do just keep that in mind. The last roster is going to be 05, or it might be 04 USC. I do apologize. Like these old teams, I kind of had a hard time remembering all of them. But this is the Reggie Bush team, right? This is when Reggie Bush just kind of took over. 99 overall. We just decided to juice out his ratings. Like he is probably the best overall card in this game. Now, I don't really recognize any of these other players. They have Matt Leinart. Obviously, I know him because he won a Heisman. They had a crazy linebacking core. I'm a Seahawks fan, so I know Lofa Tatupu. I don't really know anybody else on this roster. I'll keep it a buck with you guys. They had 2 crazy D tackles. I do remember this. So they had Sean Cody and Mike Patterson, 2 just really good defensive tackles. But yeah, that's kind of the rosters. Trying to think. We'll show you guys one more. We'll show you guys more of a present day roster. I think 2019 LSU, probably a roster that many of you guys want to see. So I'll show you guys 2019 LSU right here and what they are rocking with. Obviously, this is the Joe Burrow year. They're going to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire here too. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrence Marshall, Thaddeus Moss here too. They actually had like a really good offensive line too. Defensively, the most notable player is going to be Derek Stingley. I think they had a safety. Yeah, they had Grant Delpit on this team too. But yeah, just like an insane roster all around. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and sim to the season, get our week 1 matchup, and get into the gameplay. All right, boys, we did end up actually having a week 1 bye. So we are in week 2 right now. And actually, you can see Wisconsin has played 2 games already before we have even played our first game. Now, we'll go ahead and show you guys my entire schedule for the season of all the great matchups we're going to have. This is going to be the Jonathan Taylor Wisconsin team. This is going to be the Fiesta Bowl Boise State team. This is the Justin Blackman Ohio State team. If you guys know about Justin Blackman, I mean, I think he was honestly one of the craziest college receivers ever. Also, Brandon Weeden was the quarterback of that team. That's like my first memories of college football for me. So just some really cool teams. This is going to be Baker's OU. This is going to be the 2023 runner-up in the national championship TCU. People like Max Duggan, like that. This is going to be Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley's Penn State. This is going to be Marcus Mariota's, and that I think he has LaMichael James, by the way. I know LaMichael James didn't play on that team, but again, we wanted to get some of the most notable faces into this. So I think LaMichael James is also on this team. Just another super, super cool player to have. This is going to be the national championship Georgia team from a couple of years ago. You know, if you actually saw a picture from the Eagles' Twitter, I think they had Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith all on that defensive line. Just an insane front seven. They also had Nakobe Dean, really good linebacker in the NFL. This is going to be Cam's Auburn. This team isn't great. I actually remember when I was making this team, it's Cam and a bunch of nobodies. There's not really a bunch else on those teams. But still, Cam, a dog, probably one of the best Heisman winners ever. Then you have the 2012 ND team. Now, we actually kind of went back and forth if you wanted to use this year's ND team or the 2012 ND team. What it came down to is, I think, Manti Te'o's ND team. I think it was a little bit just more famous, I think it's fair to say, in terms of just the popularity, obviously, that entire case had across the country. This is going to be the Mackenzie Milton UCF. Now, when you got to some of these lower end teams, it was hard for us to pick what team we wanted to end up going with. But this team did go undefeated, right? They went undefeated in the regular season. I felt like it was just kind of hard for us to leave them out. And then lastly, we do go up against our rival, Florida State. And this is probably the best overall team we're going to play. This is going to be the BCS 2013 champion against Auburn. With that being said, we are going to quickly just show you guys this Wisconsin roster. Whenever we go into a game, I know this is a long intro, boys, but I want to show you guys the amount of just cool things within this, right? Whenever we get into a game, we're always going to show you the the team of the opponent that we are playing. So he actually did add a couple of cool legends here too. So he has Russell Wilson, right? So that's going to end up being his quarterback. Colin Kendricks was his main starter for this year. You have Jonathan Taylor, Dog. You have his receivers. Now, we kind of juiced up his receivers. You guys are going to see the stats are also probably a little bit higher than what you guys saw in the first part of this video. There's like ways that we decided to, you know, upgrade our teams just to make everybody a little bit faster. Just keep that in mind, right? If you guys go into the Discord of the official rosters of what we had, that was their base rating. Obviously, these players weren't that fast in real life. I feel like I remember them having like, oh, you know who it was? It was these two centers. Tyler Biazdi. I remember him now. I honestly don't remember this guy. I didn't work on this roster. You have JJ Watt. That was one of his legends. He did end up getting JJ Watt. Leon Jacobs. This is like a crazy throwback. He was actually like a crazy budget beast in Madden a couple of years ago. TJ Edwards on this roster, super cool right there. Zach Bond, took him a couple of years in the league to really get going, but also him there. Andrew Van Ginkel, man, their linebacking core is kind of insane. I don't really recognize this secondary, I'll be honest. I remember looking through this first time, but that's the Wisconsin roster that we are going to be going up against. With that being said, let's go ahead and finally get into the games. All right, boys, we are finally here. We have the entrance going into the stadium. You guys can see Tim Tebow leading us out right now. You guys can see the Florida Chomp. And just, I'm so excited for this series, man. There was a ton of effort, ton of time that got put into this. You guys can see Wisconsin, our technically week 2 opponent right here. But nonetheless, I'm stoked for this. It looks like it's almost like raining too. I don't know. Is it raining? Oh, it looks like it's just like an overcast. We are also playing 6-minute quarters, by the way, boys. And we do also have Jeff Demps as our kick returner. Now, I know that Brandon James was the actual kick returner for this team, but Jeff Demps is also 99 speed. I feel like I just can't not use him. And honestly, I'm taking him. We're taking off first play. I have to see. Okay, well, that was very anticlimactic, boys. Had to see if we were able to make a crazy start early. Now, we are in the Michigan offense. Obviously, I won the major CFB tournament in this offense. And it looks like he is in a 3-3-5 penny look here. Let's see, worried about his pass rush and everything here too. Gonna go ahead and just start up with a basic play right here. Good switch stick by him. Took our couple of yards with Tim Tebow right there. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too, player apparel and also skin color. It's not going to be 100% accurate on everybody. You can change like some of the player apparel stuff. You can change skin color on some of the players. You just kind of have to. Whatever they have is just kind of what you do end up having for the rest of the time. So just do keep that in mind too. Same thing with also player year. I know player year, it was a lot more difficult for us. Right there, oh, I thought we had the drag underneath. We actually did not end up having the drag underneath right there. Honestly, a good defensive start from him. We do have a Percy Harvin receiver. Lewis Murphy is our slot. Aaron Hernandez at tight end. And we have a Thompson at slot here. And right there, man, just great defense from him right there to start this game off. Honestly, not the start I wanted to have. Defense is basically just filled with stars. Basically stars across the board right here. Man, that's kind of, I didn't realize this was the only 13th toughest stadium to play at. Right there, pitch out from him early, able to make that play right there. Now, the one exception, we do have Jadeveon Clowney. You guys can see right there, he is going to be at outside linebacker for us. As I was talking about earlier, we want to bring back some of the best players that have just played, you know, the past few years in college football. Looks like it is a little bit of a trips look from him right here. Going to take his flat to Jonathan Taylor. He does use Russell Wilson at quarterback too. All right, boys, big third down right here. It is actually going to be the direct snap. Oh, my. Oh, fumble? Come on, Florida. Pick it up. Let's go. Who's number 3? Is that Major Wright? I think that's Major Wright, right? I mean, hold on. Oh, wait, no, that's, oh my gosh, Clowney. Early. You know, you guys don't understand. I I don't know how copyright works. I really want to put clips in there, but like Clowney has one of the most iconic hits of the century. I'll probably honestly just put up a picture or something. We're actually going to run the ball right here with the Dems, just try to get a couple of yards there. I don't necessarily want to go 4 and out again, boys. I'm going to go ahead and run a tight end streak. Typically a tight end streak, very good against this style of defense. We have Aaron Hernandez with sure hands. Now, Aaron Hernandez is obviously one of the players that I didn't have any other tight ends on the roster that had a white skin tone, so we did have to end up just having him be a darker skin tone for this video. See if he actually runs that same defense here again. Let's go ahead and take the sack right there. I thought for a second I might be able to launch Percy Harvin. Not a blitz right there from him. We are actually going to have Jeff Demps deep down the field. Oh, I thought Jeff Demps was going to be gone right there. I'm going to try to rotate my running backs a decent amount. We do actually have kind of a crazy running back room. You guys know how we are with our speed. If you are a crazy fast player, you're probably going to be a crazy meta card in video games. Right here, we do have our in route right there. Try to spin out of there too. Oh, I thought I was gone right there. And boys, I think for the very first time, we're going to give Tebow a touch in the run game. All right, we are going to pitch the ball out to, and he's not getting caught. There's just no way Jeff Demps gets caught. Jeff Demps to the end zone, go up 7-0 early in this game. Now, we'll say when it comes to our defense, I genuinely don't feel like we have a weakness on this defense. The only thing that I could say that might be a weakness is actually our user. Brandon Spike's a little bit slow, so we actually have him at the other linebacker spot here. It's right there. Does he really have it? No, he does not. Look at Joe Hayden make a play right there. I was going to say, our secondary is nuts. I think we have Ball Hawk, we have House Call. I mean, when I say they have every important ability, they have every important ability on their team. All right, back on offense here. Back in our bunch right now. I was worried about him switch sticking to that, as I think I was in bounds right there. I'm going to go ahead and challenge this. See if Urban Meyer can start the year 1-0 on challenges. Actually was out of bounds. Wow, I thought I was in bounds right there. All right, second down after. Somehow we weren't in bounds there. Man, and actually the 4-man pass rush just got there. If there is one weakness about this team, boys, it is actually probably the offensive line when it comes to ratings. And don't get me wrong, they have 4-star offensive linemen, but their ratings aren't like the greatest pass blockers ever. So I do, as you guys can see, he's able to get some crazy pressure right there. That's kind of my fear. I feel like we are going to have to block our tight end right here. I feel like that's going to be my best chance at being able to get some form of time in the pocket. I'm going to run this concept. We're going to run a corner route actually from our running back here. And man, nothing really open again there. I mean, outside of that one drive where we had Jeff Demps, I haven't really had a ton. I will say, I do anticipate these games to be a little bit more defensive. A lot of just crazy defensive abilities across the board right here. You know, I know punting isn't something that really happens a ton as we almost get a pick on that play. All right, doesn't really have anything open. We're going to, oh, wow. I said he didn't really have anything open. I thought that was a corner route. That was actually a double move right there. That was a good play from him. He's going to have the whip route. I tried to get out there. I was a little bit too late with the switch stick right there. Are we going to be able to get there? Wow. That's a dot. I actually thought Janoris Jenkins was going to be able to get there. That's actually just a crazy dot from him. It takes a little bit of adjusting in terms of like what you can and what you can't pick off. Also, I will say he's Wisconsin and he's not really running the ball. Am able to get to the quarterback right there. Jones, that's my user right there. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Brandon Spikes didn't wrap him up right there. Brandon Spikes, as you guys can see, Platinum Aftershock. You guys can see that stadium pulse is, I can just see with the way that Russ is tapping his head and everything that stadium pulse is. It's kind of going insane right now, I think, for him. You guys can see it looks like, I don't know exactly what, yeah, you can see. He cannot get the play call in right now. He's going to have a wheel route on that other side. You guys can see there he is. Brandon Spikes wrapping up right there. That's actually 1.5 sacks already on the day. I would not be surprised by the end of this series if he didn't have at least double-digit sacks. All right, Brandon Spikes again as right there. I think that's a mod black, right? Yep, a mod black. Inside, outside, to the house. Good stuff. Wow, our defense is, I mean, I was saying it, boys. This defense is crazy. I think this is the best secondary I've probably ever used in college football, let alone some of the Maddens I've played too. I just got a pick 6. Look, I feel like the stadium should be rocking now. Like, I feel like if there is any point for stadium pulse to be maxed out, it should be right now. Maybe I'm insane. I don't know. I know it's the end of the quarter. Maybe people decided to go get some, like, drinks and stuff like that. But I feel like the stadium just should be, like, entirely rocking right now. Right there, Russ, another check down. Oh, my gosh. Jonathan... Whew. Jonathan Taylor just ran over me. We were saying, man, if a runner got their hands on this team, that this team was going to be terrifying. But you guys can see, he's legitimately dropped back passing. There he is again. Brandon Spikes, already 2.5 sacks on this game. I think there is a legitimate chance he's the best defensive player of the year in all of this, of any position, not just the Buckets Award, of just any position. Right there, man, I can't let Jonathan Taylor keep beating me like this. I got to start using him myself. All right, watch out for Jonathan Taylor. Good. I mean, he cannot block Brandon Spikes. Brandon Spikes, 3.5 sacks already. This is kind of insanity. Oh, a little quick hike from him. And again, okay. Make sure we rally, boys. Good. That's good. Just rally. Get people around the ball. 2nd and 17. Not mad with him picking a couple yards there. And stadium is rocking right now. Let me make sure I get used in the right position. Nothing really open. Russ is just going to take off with his legs. I have to be mindful of that. I think, yeah, this down, I'm actually probably going to spy him here. I don't just want to give up an easy big play right here, especially to a scramble. Right there. Oh, my gosh. I need Jones to get there. All right, again, just crazy under duress. Get some good pressure there. Ooh, okay. He's got platinum sure hands on his tight end. Interesting. Cannot be mad at that. I think it's a Broncos tight end. It's like Fugamali or something like that. It's Brandon Spikes again, by the way. Hurry up by him. Big 4th down. And one thing I will say, I feel like he's had good drives so far. It's not like he just hasn't moved the football. Another quick hike from him. Go ahead and send the spy. And Russ right there. Inaccurate. Big stop for us. All right, back on offense. And I will say, offense, we haven't really been clicking so far. I feel like offensively has been not necessarily a struggle, but it's not been clicking, right? I feel like there's going to be a lot more in terms of potential of what I can end up doing with this team. I just have to figure out how to like get used to all these players and everything. All right, drag underneath. There you go. Just throw the ball to Percy Harvin. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to get out right there. Look at T, but oh, so that's the thing about. So the one thing I will say about left-handed quarterbacks, they are a little bit slower when it comes to scrambling. So I think that's one of the things that's kind of throwing me off. So it's gonna take me a little bit of time getting used to Tebow right there. Good pressure from him. We did have Aaron Hernandez over the middle. I'm gonna put Aaron Hernandez on this post again. I feel like he's just consistently giving it up. Right here, we are going to have Jeff Demps out of the backfield. Good catch. Kind of the first decision we have right here. We're actually going to go ahead and run the same play right here. Again, I feel like this concept of a play is just going to be difficult for him to stop. Right there. Post route. Aaron Hernandez. There we go. I think we're finally starting to get that groove a little bit on offense. Oh, had our in route right there. Just a little bit slow with the read. All right, he's honestly sending a ton of people. He's always sending 5. Aaron Hernandez, a little drag route, touchdown, and finally. I knew it was coming, right? Those first couple of drives just were kind of rough for us. Finally, we're able just to have a good drive on offense. Go up 21-0-2. Able to kind of start to get control of this game. All right, back on defense, and I will say, this is a really big drive. I feel like if we're able to prevent him from getting 7 right here, I don't want to say it's curtains closed, but I think it's gonna be tough for him to fight back in this game. Good switch sticks from us. Pick. Oh my gosh. Fugamali, I think is how you say his name. I tried to make it so I had all stars on defense everywhere. I think we're going to go back to my other user right there. Switch stick from us. Janoris Jenkins to the right. Out of there. 2nd pick 6 of the game. Good stuff. Jenkins? And this is a ranked opponent too, I will say. One thing that I will mention, no matter who we play, I promise you the competition in this is extremely high. We've got 32 of just the best players in the world here. So every game is going to be a sweat. So games like this, you know, you have to make sure that you basically don't slip up, right? It's like real college football, you know. When I played CFMs and stuff like that, you can lose like 4 or 5 games in a year, still be fine. We lose 3 games, I think we're done. I think 2 will be fine. 3 games, we're just completely out of the race. All right, back on defense here. We are actually just rocking a little bit of a cover 4 shell right here. Taking a lot of time with his audibles here too. Wow, he didn't get a false start. I actually don't understand how people... Oh my gosh. I mean, this is insane. I mean, this defense is just insane. Major right now getting in on the action. I think that's actually all 4 of our defensive backs. I think they all have picks now. I don't think you could ask for much more defensively. Right here, we do have Jeff Demps out of the backfield. Gonna try to extend our lead here too. Good defense by him. Actually sending the blitz here again. Give it to Percy Harvin. Platinum Shifty. You guys can see what that ability is gonna do for us. Alright, we're gonna run a little bit of, again, Tebow right here. I'm actually gonna run the other way with Tebow. And we're just gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it with Tebow. Look at Tebow, men. Look at Tebow, men. Alright, boys, I do not think we could ask for much more from a week 1 matchup than to go up 35-0 at half. And honestly, this game started really rough for us. I mean, he's also been in the red zone multiple times, but I do not think that this half could have started any better for us in this series. Alright, start of the second half, boys. And one thing that I will mention, I am 100% stat padding in every single one of these games. You know, I actually really want the Heisman at the end of this. Now, I will say, Tebow hasn't had the craziest start to this game, but I really want as many awards as possible. I want this to be the most dominating team ever. One of the things about that documentary that I like very vividly remember about, oh my gosh, just make a tackle, about Swamp Kings, I think that's what it's called, is Swamp Kings, is I really do just truly remember that they were just so upset that they weren't the first ever undefeated Florida team. So I kind of want to avenge them here. Albeit it is a video game, but I do want to avenge them right there. Oh my gosh, I thought we had another pick right there. We have a post route. Brandon, I would say, I mean, Brandon Spikes went crazy early, but sadly hasn't had a ton of pressure since then. Good defense by us right there. Rush just able to take off. Ooh, a little bit of an... Oh my god, he had to fat finger that one. I was kind of in shock right there. Offensive... I feel like we accept that. I feel like 10 yards in this area of the field is kind of too valuable to pass up on. Ooh, is that Dunlap? I think... No, that might be Cunningham. Yeah, that one was Cunningham right there. Alright, nothing really... Oh, is he gonna... Oh my gosh, wow. Fumagalli almost cooked me again right there. I mean, I guess I can't really complain. But as I said, on offense, we're not slowing down. We're going to try to put up as many points as possible in every one of these games. Alright, back on offense, boys. He actually did a good job right there at guarding my seam streak. I was going to honestly try to just throw a quick seam to get a lot of yards there. I think we have Percy. Oh, Tebow. He's able just to get good pressure that time. We are going to go for it here. JJ Watt, that's actually one of the legends he decided to pick up on this team. JJ Watt's actually kind of having a crazy day for him. I was going to say, like, he's honestly played a good game just outside of the turnovers. Turnovers have been just what really have killed him. And, like, right, I mean, again, you guys can see right there, our offensive line is just getting completely ran through. Right there, good defense. Oh, my gosh. I feel like I'm watching, like, I mean, this is actually truly, like, rookie year Russ. Looks like he's audibling to something else. Hold on, let me get to the other side now. Oh, he's going to run. Oh, my gosh. I think that was Brandon Spikes that he just ran through, too. All right, second and goal from the 10. I want to say, man, like, he just didn't turn the ball over. This could be an entirely different game. Russ also getting out, but now his second fumble in the red zone this game. I think he's actually, I thought he was about to challenge it there. They probably just didn't give him the challenge option right there, though, sadly for him. All right, back on offense now, too, boys. Oh, he's He did accidentally just run commit right there. Lewis Murphy off to the races, though. I mean, honestly, not a great drive, but we'll go ahead and just take our free 7 right there. All right, boys, as you guys can see, 6 takeaways in this game. That's really the difference right now in this game. I'm not even exaggerating. 2 fumbles. Then we also had 4 interceptions, 2 of them being pick 6s. And it does actually look like he might be waving the white flag right here. See what he ends up calling. It might just be runs the rest of the way from him. Guys, I don't blame him necessarily. He probably just wants to get out of this one. But as I said, I feel like I gotta set a statement. You know, Week 1, Florida Gators, probably the best team in this dynasty. I want to make sure that I just set a statement with this one. Oh, wow. It looks like, okay, so he has actually, fun fact, he has also benched Russell Wilson in this game. So I'm going to say, I don't think any of these players in Dynasty can get workhorse. And if they can, I just have not seen it yet. So, man, I'm going to tell you guys right now, depth is actually very important in these games. I've actually had to sub in players in and out of this game already, just because of just standard wear and tear, right? So it's something I've actually kind of got to take note of. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like the craziest run I've seen. So I almost want to come out in a little bit more of a run defense. But at the same time, you know, obviously I know this guy. We've actually played in Cup before. He's a really good player. I think it just comes down to, honestly, red zone for him and turnovers were just kind of lacking this game. And yeah, it was just kind of allowed me to get full control of this game. I mean, there's so many, like, truly, like, if he just got 7 on that first drive when I went 4 and out, this could be an entirely different game right now. All right, we're actually going to try to blow this run up with Major Right. I came down. I was a little bit too aggressive. I was going to say, I mean, I know I'm not putting a ton of effort into stopping the run, but I am a little bit surprised that, you know, he didn't try to run the ball just a little bit more. You know, this is a run-first team. You got a fast quarterback on this team too. I feel like Dynasty, you really have to just play to your team's strengths. I feel like if you don't play to your team's strengths, I feel like you're just going to put yourself in a tough spot, you know. A little bit of a whip route right there. Oh my gosh. I thought our slot cornerback was about to get a pick too. Ooh, good play by him. Just a little tight end seam streak right there. Ooh, missed it. I actually just crazy missed on that hit. You know, as much as I do want to put up 50 in our Week 1 game, I'm also not going to be, for lack of better words, just a dickhead. We'll go ahead, if he runs the ball, if he gets tackled in bounds right here, which he is, we'll go ahead and say GG's. We're not going to take any timeouts. 42-3 victory in our first game. For any of you guys that did watch this video, no, this is going to go on for 3 to 4 more seasons. There's going to be a crazy amount of content left in this series. Every single one of these games uploaded to my YouTube too. So if you guys like this style of content, make sure you guys like this video. As I said, a ton of time and effort went into this for you guys. I hope you guys do enjoy this. This is a ton of fun for me. In terms of any Dynasty, any CFM, any like competitive tournament I've played in, I think this is almost one of my favorite ones that I've ever come up with. So as I said, if you guys do like these, make sure you guys drop the thumbs up. With that being said though, boys, I will see you guys all next week.